Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mike Dolce Show Sunday edition. Today we are talking about Conor McGregor versus Donald Cowboy Cerrone, scheduled in at UFC January 18th in Las Vegas as the main event, one of the rare few non-title fights to be a 5-round headliner of a pay-per-view card. This is a clear testament to Conor McGregor's earning power. Regardless of what the UFC and the pundits say, Conor McGregor is still the money man in the UFC. The UFC does not put main event 5-round fights on the card that are not title fights. And Conor McGregor is the one man or woman to actually do this. And what the Telegraph has said is McGregor may make as much as $50 million if the pay-per-view lives up to expectations. What are those expectations? I'm not sure. I can't imagine they would expect him to do over 1 million pay-per-view buys. Now, Conor is one of the few athletes in the UFC who has generated over 1 million pay-per-view buys on multiple appearances. Most athletes, and dare I say, John Jones rarely cracks 500,000. Daniel Cormier rarely cracks 500,000. Amanda Nunes, Demetrius Johnson, Michael Bisping, who else? Or Robert Whitaker, who else is out there who does over 500,000 buys? Now, if you're doing 400,000 buys in the UFC these days, that's pretty good. If you're doing 600,000 or more, that's amazing. Conor McGregor is one of the few who have ever broke 1 million, and he's done it multiple times. The majority of his title fights, I believe every one of his title fights, were over 1 million pay-per-view buys. That's something very important here. Now, the matchup itself, Conor McGregor versus Donald Cerrone. Does this fight matter? And that's a question to you, so I'd love to hear what you have to say. But let me tell you, no, the fight doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. This is a fun fight. This is a fan fight. This fight has no bearing on the division whatsoever. What does that mean? That means Conor McGregor was blown away by Khabib Nurmagomedov in his most recent defense of his lightweight world title. When he defended it against Conor McGregor, he choked out Conor, I believe, in the 4th round. And one would say he kind of outclassed Conor due to his high pressure style and his grappling based attack, even dropped Conor McGregor with a nasty overhand. Khabib clearly showed he's the number one athlete at 155 pounds, and it's going to take Conor, and it should take Conor a few big fights, big wins to get back up there. Now, Conor's coming off of a loss. Donald is coming off of 2 losses, and in fact, Donald's coming off of 6 losses in his last 10 fights. Who else has beat Donald? Well, let's see. George Masvidal beat Donald in January of 17. Robbie Lawler beat Donald in July of 17. Darren Till beat Donald in October of 17. Donald came back for a win over Yancy Medeiros. Then Leon Edwards beat Donald in June of 18. Donald beat Mike Perry in November of 18, and that was a fun fight. Donald then came back and beat Alex Hernandez. January 19, he beat Al Iaquinta in May of 19. Now he has a 3-fight win streak, putting him back into the conversation. But then he goes and fights Tony Ferguson, who beats Donald via TKO in the 2nd round in June of 19. And then Donald comes back in September of 19 and loses via TKO to Justin Gaethje. Now, Tony Ferguson is slated to next fight Khabib Nurmagomedov for the UFC lightweight world title, for Khabib's lightweight world title. And that puts Justin Gaethje in the mix, somewhere in the mix. Justin Gaethje's probably sitting number 3 to number 5, depending on who you're talking to. But Gaethje has a recent loss to Dustin Poirier, who also recently lost to the kingpin in the lightweight division, and that is Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, Conor, on the other hand, he lost to Khabib in October of 18, a year ago. Before that, he beat Eddie Alvarez via TKO. It was a knockout to claim Eddie Alvarez's UFC lightweight world title. Prior to that, he has a decision win, a 5-round win over Nate Diaz. But before that, he has that submission loss to Nate Diaz. And then we have December of 2015, where Conor McGregor first claimed the UFC featherweight world title by knocking out Jose Aldo. And I should say, one fight before that, Conor McGregor also knocked out Chad Mendes for the UFC featherweight interim title. So on paper, Conor has a higher win percentage, but he hasn't fought the level of competition that Cowboy has as recently. And what does that mean? Conor had one fight in 18, three fights in 16, 3 fights in 15. So Conor was busy. 2015, he had 3 fights. 2016, he had 3 fights. Then he took a time off, a year or more off to fight Floyd Mayweather. He took another year or so off, and then he came back and fought Khabib after, relinquishing his world title. So he hasn't been very busy. Well, Cerrone, on the other hand, has been quite busy. 1, 2, 3, 4 fights in 2019. 1, 2, 3. 3 fights in 18. 1, 2, 3 fights in 17. 1, 2, 3, 4 fights in 16. 1, 2, 3, 4 fights in 15. I mean, Cerrone's a guy who's fighting 3 or 4 times a year every single year. And he's fighting Rafael Dos Anjos, Benson Henderson, Eddie Alvarez, to which he has a win. Cerrone also has a win over Eddie Alvarez. Patrick Cote, who once fought, I think twice fought for the UFC world title. Masvidal, Lawler, former title holder. It's a really good list. Tony Ferguson and Gaethje, who's up there. Now, I'm going to hand this over to you guys here in a second. But this fight that's coming up January 18th, I'm pretty sure that's the date, UFC 246, January 18th, T-Mobile Arena. I mean, this is a big deal. I've been to a few of Conor's fights. He packs the house. You got to give Conor McGregor credit for being a sports entertainer. The guy brings the show unlike no other athlete, and I would say maybe Ronda Rousey. When Ronda Rousey fought, the auditoriums the venues were just packed, and it was insane. And the energy that was brought by Ronda, the allure of Ronda, it was something special. Conor brings that, and we could say Conor brings more than that because Conor brings an international audience. He really does sweep over the European crowd into the already frenzied American fight audience. That being said, Conor, man, he's bringing it. He's bringing the show, but Cowboy's no slouch. Now, on paper, this should be an easy fight for Conor, and I think Conor's a 3-1 favorite in this fight. That puts Cowboy as a 3-1 underdog. That's not fair. And I'm not a betting guy, so maybe my boy Kyle Marley can hop on in and he can give us some odds over here. But that's not a good bet. Those are good odds if you're throwing some money down on Cowboy. Not that I'm telling you to don't ever gamble. That's not what we do. But at the same time, this is a big deal. This is a big fight for Conor. Now, let me break this up, because in the beginning I said this fight really has no significance to the division, and it doesn't. Because if Cowboy wins this fight, if Cowboy beats Conor, Cowboy goes on to be a very strong draw. Will Cowboy have another shot at the title? It's going to be tough, because Cowboy lost to Gaethje. If Gaethje gets another win, Gaethje likely gets the next title shot. Tony Ferguson has the very next title shot. After that, what are we looking at? We're looking at Dustin Poirier. Maybe Dustin Poirier comes back in and gets a win. This might mean if Conor goes out there and if Cowboy goes out and loses, no, back up, sorry. If Cowboy goes out and beats Conor, I could see a Cowboy versus Poirier fight to see who gets the next shot after winner of Tony Khabib, and then after winner of Gaethje, most likely, because Gaethje's got to be in that position right now, and I don't see anybody else in the division at the moment that Gaethje could be fighting. Maybe Leon Edwards. Maybe Leon Edwards can get in there and get it done, but I don't think Leon Edwards is quite that guy just yet. I just don't know if that's going to be happening. Now, this is we're bouncing divisions here. We're really starting to have more robust conversations because this fight, I believe, this fight will actually be at lightweight. So this will be a 155-pound fight because Conor's trying to get back there and get the 55-pound title. So let's clear the deck here and keep Leon Edwards out of the conversation. So now we're back to Gaethje being next in line after Tony, and then possibly the winner of Cowboy Conor fights Poirier. That one could work really well unless Gaethje's still sitting on the sideline. If Gaethje's still sitting on the sideline, then Conor has to win the fight to fight Gaethje because Cowboy already fought Gaethje and kind of got starched. That just is what it is. All right, guys, let's hear what you have to say about this. Paul Thompson, what's up? Oh, and by the way, if you guys are interested, we've extended our Black Friday sale to today only, where today only you can save 30% right now on the #1 online total body transformation program at thedolcediet.com. Use our special promo code created just for you, FU30. Letter F, letter U, number 3, number 0, FU30 to save 30% right now. This is the biggest deal we've ever had. This is the largest discount we've ever had, and you have a few more hours today. Midnight tonight, boom, done, it's gone, and you will not have access to this discount anymore. So right now is the time to save 30% on the #1 total body transformation program. The #1 weight loss program on the planet is at thedolcediet.com. Join our 4-week or 12-week personalized diet and exercise program, completely curated to you, to your background, to your goals. What are you trying to accomplish? This is like setting the GPS for your weight loss. You simply set it, follow it, and you continue on. We do everything for you. We tell you exactly what to do. Now, you can lock in that savings right now at thedolcediet.com with promo code FU30 and start anytime in the future. You don't have to start tomorrow. You can start anytime you want in the future if you lock it in right now. Lock in the savings. You can gift this to a friend or family member who has struggled with their weight. Give them the gift of health. Give them the gift of fitness and save 30%. That's nearly a third. This thing crushes sales with 0 discounts. We blow the market away with how many people sign up every single day to this program because it works that well. And we're giving it to you right now for 30% off, thedolcediet.com, promo code FU30. And I will leave a link under this video. Now, back to the conversation. Anthony G, opinion on the fight being at 170. Is the fight definitely at 170? And that likely is due to, and I heard a little bit about this, that's likely due to the short notice of the fight. The fight was just signed and agreed upon, and it was inside of that 8-week window, being that it's not quite a full 8-week training camp, though both athletes knew about it. I believe that that's why that was part of the contingencies to allow it to be at 170. Mark Cox, hey, MD, hope Cowboy gets the W. Right on. Angel, what's up, my man? Hope you guys had some coffee. Oh, I've smashed the coffee. I'm going to do a video tomorrow about that. R, is that a fact? And I'm not going to repeat that R, and I'm not going to wipe it away either. I know that there were allegations of sexual misconduct that were presented against Conor McGregor. I don't know the validity of these allegations, and I don't know the context, how deep they have gone. I really haven't followed those stories, though I am aware of the peripheral. Usually we kind of wait for indictments and convictions. So I don't know how far down the road that has gone. I'm certainly open to hearing any facts. And then we can certainly discuss those in the future, because if any of that's true, it should be a lifetime ban. I mean, outside of jail time, I mean, that would be a whole nother part of the probability, right? So I'd love to hear more facts on that and then maybe report on it. T-Rev, I got Conor within the first round. Cowboy doesn't have good head movement. Conor will win first, and he also picks easier fights. I noticed it seems Conor should fight. Well, that's an interesting. Now, that's a big criticism against Cowboy. He doesn't have a lot of good head movement. He's also been really successful. So, and I think, and I'm friends with Cowboy, right? I know Cowboy real well. Friends with Cowboy, been to his house, been to the ranch, been to his gym, just like the whole thing. And dude is a beast. He grinds through his training partners. He has this ability, and I think outside it looks much easier maybe to fight Cowboy from the outside of the octagon than to be on the inside and to see what he's truly capable of, or to feel what it's like to be in front of him. And I think that might be an area that Conor might. Conor's smart though. And don't let all the media fool you. Conor McGregor's a smart guy. Cowboy's a smart guy. Conor McGregor is also a smart guy. He doesn't get credit for this. And it is what it is. But Conor is a very smart guy behind the scenes. He's very strategic. He's very calculated. You don't have the career that Conor McGregor has by simply being a good athlete. There's other amazing athletes in the UFC right now that are buried on undercards and will likely never get their way onto a main card, let alone a main event. Good fight to go out on. Cowboy should retire after this. Maybe Cowboy will finally get paid. Yeah, happy to see him get paid. Helmut Roberto Soldic will be the future UFC superstar. Oh, I love that, man. Soldic's a beast. The fight is at 170. Yeah. Okay, I appreciate that, guys. Let's see. Will Conor get in Cowboy's head? Will it alter Cowboy's performance? I don't believe so. He's an Irish sports superstar. I don't know what that means. Daniel, McGregor needs to win in order to get a bigger name. I think Cowboy can beat him for sure, but I think McGregor is going to pay Donald just to take a loss. No, Donald won't. Donald's going to get paid, win or lose. He's going to get a guarantee cut of the pay-per-view. Cowboy's going to get a big cut, simply because, not that the UFC has to give it to him, but the UFC really respects Donald, and Donald's a good guy. He's been a company man, and the UFC is going to break him off a nice little chunk. West Stand, the fight is at 170. Yeah, I appreciate that. Conor wants the BMF belt. I guarantee that's the way he fights at 170. Yep. I appreciate that, guys. Thank you. Joe Henry squats and steak program coming soon. You're going to hear about it. Ooh, you're going to hear about it. Leon has nothing to do with 55. Woodley needs to. Juice box. I appreciate that. Why do you think the media refuses to ask Conor about the multiple sexual assault allegations last year? Seems like they just want their cash cow. That's actually interesting. If I were you, I would start jumping on the Twitter and Instagram pages of all the local journalists, MMA journalists, and ask that very probing question. You seem like you really do have a good grasp on what's happening. I don't know. Maybe you're from Ireland, or you're very familiar with the situation. It seems that you're informed, certainly more informed than I. And I would start really going after all the journalists to ask, why don't they ask these real questions? Now, I'll tell you, and I've seen it before, a lot of these journalists, they just want to be in good graces. That's why they don't ask Dana White the hard questions. They don't ask Scott Coker the hard questions. They don't ask Ronda the hard questions. They don't ask John Jones the hard questions. And they don't ask Conor the hard questions, because they want to get their questions asked when they raise their hand. They want to get that press pass. They want to be invited to the open workouts. That's the truth of it. Conor has struggled with taller fighters. Good. Ashraf, is Conor still working with zero integrity? George, I heard, how do I say this? I've heard speculation that Conor was not happy and his team was not happy in review, without naming any names, in replacing members of their camp. That's what I'll say. And this is from an inside guy. Greg Johns, would you recommend fish oil as a supplement at all? Possibly. But I'd rather start with real fish first. Let's go from there. Let's get some wild caught salmon. Gunfighter, your show is awesome, Mike Dolce. Question: is basic weight training necessary despite their activity level throughout the day? Basic weight training is always suggested. Now, once every 5 days is all you need. 30 to 45 minutes once every 5 days to maintain current levels of muscle mass, to maintain strength, and also to improve strength and muscle mass depending on what level you're at. Once every 5 days is a fine rotation. And I have a lot of my high-level mixed martial arts athletes strength training just once every 5 days. Birdman, hey, bro, another reason for 175 is maybe because Dana called Conor too small for Jorge. He beats Cowboy next in line. That's a good point. Are fact only 8% of sexual assault gets convicted in Ireland. What? Bring money and the cartel connections into it. It's likely. Are you serious? That is insane. Trev, Conor has always tore fighters apart with poor head movement. And Cowboy will be no different. It's possible. That's why it's a good fight, man. Cowboy's a stud. Conor's a stud. I'm going to be a fan of this fight, right? I'm a fan of these two guys. I'm a fan of this matchup. R says, love Cowboy. Hopefully he makes this a good fight. He always does. Tyson, F you, Mike Dolce. How are you doing today, Tyson? I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. Life is amazing. Beautiful holiday with the family. It's December 1st. I'm back to drinking coffee again, baby. Woo! Just say November is over. And we're back drinking coffee. I absolutely love it. And those of you who are still here, and it seems like the views are growing, right now we've extended our Black Friday sale to the online program at thedolcediet.com. You can save 30% right now on the #1 rated total body transformation program at thedolcediet.com with promo code FU30 to save 30% and get in the absolute best shape of your life. This is like setting a GPS for your weight loss. You go in, you plug in your starting details, you plug in where you want to end up, and we do the rest for you. It's on your mobile, it's on your tablet, it's on your laptop, all at thedolcediet.com. FU30, save 30% right now. Why not? Why not? You're going to want to get in amazing shape. New Year's is coming. You're probably going to put on a few pounds over the holidays. Lock it in right now. Set your start date for any time in the future, and let's get going. I'm here to help you. Plus, the first 50 people who join today will be invited into my private Facebook group. This is a very exclusive group. I'm in there all day, every day, answering questions, leaving comments, posting new things, talking about my own life, my own weight loss. I mean, if you like this engagement on this channel, you will love to be a part of my private Facebook group dedicated to members of our online membership plan at thedolcediet.com. The first 50 people who join will be personally invited to be a part of my exclusive Facebook group. If you guys care about that, and then you're in there forever. I don't kick you out when the program's over. You're in there forever. And as a new benefit, we've now unlocked a feature. Once you, let's say you sign up to the 4-week, 3 weeks to shredded program, and your 4 weeks is over, you can reset as many times as you want and do it again and do it again and do it again and not have to buy it anymore. You buy it one time, you are locked in for life. This is at thedolcediet.com, promo code FU30. Start now, people. Let's see. Zeke, if Cowboy wins, who does he get next? If he wins, man, I think him and Poirier makes sense, right? Because Poirier is going to want to battle back, but it's at 170. Shoot, if Cowboy wins at 170, he can fight anyone. He can fight anyone, can he? If he wins at 170, he can really pick who he wants to fight at 70 or 55. I think if Cowboy wins this fight, he's going to pick money fights. I mean, does he want the title? Sure, maybe. But let's say Masvidal, let's say Colby goes out there. How about this? Colby goes out there, beats Usman. Masvidal immediately becomes the next fight for Colby. Let's say Masvidal beats Colby. Cowboy slides right into that position. I think it's that seems like a pretty easy, because there's so big. UFC loves fights like that. So much backstory. Ashraf, should Conor eat more carbs? And do you think that's why he gasses out in later rounds? I think it's because he's listened to an absolute nincompoop, in my opinion, as far as his weight cutting goes for all these years. And that's why Conor historically has gassed out midway through the second round. Conor typically gasses out. He just runs out of fuel. And that's not Conor's fault. He's a hard training athlete. It's not most of his coach's fault, because they're very intelligent, highly skilled. That is the fault of absolutely terrible nutrition programming, in my opinion. And I know people inside his camp, and they just shake their head and they say the same thing. So we'll see what happens this fight. What's your opinion on smelling salts to boost strength? I don't believe they boost strength, actually. I've used them. What they do is they create focus, and the focus allows performance. I haven't seen any real data, and I've used them hundreds of times probably in my career as a powerlifter. They just increase that focus. Dino says, as someone who was addicted to junk food, how did you go about making the change to incorporate a healthy lifestyle and leave your fast food addiction? I came up with amazing recipes that were healthy. I reverse engineered the foods, the bad foods that I love. I reverse engineered those recipes to be delicious while using high quality nutrients. That's what our Living Lean cookbook is. So our Living Lean cookbook volume 2 is over 250 recipes, many of which were reverse engineered recipes from our athletes, what they culturally grew up eating, their comfort foods. We looked at those recipes and we said, how can we do this in a manner that is healthy so the athlete absolutely loves their meal plan, but they get all the nutrition they need with nothing to spill over? That's what I did. That's, I think, why one of the reasons we're as successful as we are. And that's why the Living Lean Cookbook Volume 2 spent 37 consecutive months as an iTunes top 10 best-selling ebook. Think about that. That's 3 years. Over 3 years, the Living Lean Cookbook was in the top 10 of all diet and cookbooks sold through iTunes digital downloads. Think about that right now. Pretty insane. And we spent $0 in marketing or advertising. This was an independent published book. That means we had the backing of nobody other than you guys in word of mouth. So that's my answer. That's my answer. That's how I did it. Birdman, health question. My son's a gym fitness freak, but doesn't believe in taking multivitamins. What do you say about this? I don't disagree. I would say get his blood work done. Look for any deficiencies. If there's no deficiencies, he's good to go. I would make sure he's eating a diet that is diverse in healthful whole foods. Tyson, drinking some coffee today. Glad you're doing good. You're doing great things. I really appreciate you slamming the like button. Bang! That's right, guys. Slam that like button if you had not. I do appreciate that. I appreciate all the engagement that you guys give because the engagement is supposed to help the channel grow. And I appreciate that. If nothing else, the more you guys engage, the more I know that you are out there and the more motivating it is for me to keep delivering you what I think is amazing content. If you really start going back and looking at all the content we put out for you over the last year and a half to 2 years, I think we're doing really great things. Ashraf, next DDC is likely February of 2020, first quarter of 20. Angel, hey, bro, sent you an email with my updated phone number. Right on. I appreciate that. Zeke, if Conor loses, he gets Perry. Yikes. Not yikes like it's a bad thing, but that's kind of falling off from, not that Perry's bad at all, but Conor was looking for world titles. I mean, Perry's probably not going near a world title ever. He's going to be a fun fight. He's going to get highly compensated to do what he does. Perry's like a Chris Lieben in many ways. Conor really needs to stay in that top 2, top 3. Easy win for McGregor. We'll see. George Woodbury, thanks for the FU to help me make weight for the world's Raw powerlifting. First place, strict curl. Wow, 60 to 64 years old, kicking old man ass. George, I'm so proud of you, bro. If you have any a video of that, just DM me or tag me on Instagram. I'd love to check you out, my man. Yossi, coach, what do you think of Ruiz losing weight before the rematch with Joshua? Is it going to hurt him? You demand peace. I don't know enough about him to know. I love seeing anyone get healthy, but anytime there's a drastic change to someone's training, that might not be well received in the performance. It might just take his body a little more time to adapt to the new leverage points of weight loss, and people forget that. I haven't followed his prep, though, as well as maybe I could. Hey, coach, do you have an opinion on reverse dieting? Is it necessary? Yeah, it is necessary. And it's basically just refeeding using the same foods that you've always eaten, which is why we say, let's say you start 3 weeks to shredded right now. You go to the DOLCEdiet.com right now. You start our 3 weeks to shredded program, which is a 4-week program. You follow it from day 1 all the way down to 21. It's 4 weeks because you get an extra bonus week. You go from day 1 down to day 21. I will suggest that you go right back to day 1, which is a built-in reverse diet for you. You get not a massive influx, but you get about a 30 to 40% bump in total caloric intake from that last 3 days or so to the first 3 days. So from day like 18, 19, 20, 21, then you reset back to day 1. It's a reverse diet, but you're using all the same foods, and then we zigzag you back through the program again. Most of the people who go through round 2, round 3 of 3 weeks to shredded start adding lean muscle tissue as they continue losing total stored body fat. It's insane, the results of like round 2, round 3, and everyone has access to that right now at thedolcediet.com for a 30% discount with promo code FU30. If you are on the fence about it, today is the day to start. This is the last day we will give this 30% discount for a year, full 12 months or more. I might never do a 30% again. You have today only until midnight to save 30%, but you can set your start date for any time you want in the future. That's no problem. anytime you want to start, but lock in that savings now. And it makes a great gift. A lot of people have been gifting it to family and friends and those they want to help. Give a little nudge towards healthy, positive motivation. Trev, do you have Overeem or Rosenstruck? Interesting fight. I don't know enough about Rosenstruck. But I like Alistair. So I'm leaning, I'm rooting for Alistair. He's always been a good guy. He's always treated me extremely well and respectful. I'm not close friends, but at the same time, he's always been very cool. Luis, Mike, you have you worked with Cowboy? I have on multiple times. I really like Cowboy. We have a good bond, good friendship. We talk after most of his fights and whatnot. I don't think I'll be working with him for this fight. We have Mirsad Bektik fighting 2 weeks later in Texas, and Mirsad is that's the focus right now. Of course, I'm always open to consult with Cowboy and just cheer him along as a friend. Angel says there's only one like. Well, there's more likes right now. I see that there's 22, only 22 likes. We've had hundreds of people watch this video so far, and only 22 likes. That's okay. I'll keep giving you free content. Don't worry about me. I'll struggle along here. Ron says, thanks for answering my question. I'm getting 3 weeks to shred it right now. Thanks, Coach Ron. I thank you. I appreciate you. And remember, use that promo code FU30, save 30%. Why not? And then you will be invited into my private Facebook group. Only a select, only the first 50 people who actually join right now will get invited into my private Facebook group. And then you guys like this stuff? You like me sitting here answering? Imagine when I'm just typing answers to your questions and everybody else in the group. It's amazing. It's an amazing supportive community. We just have threads of all of us in there cheering each other on and challenging each other and calling each other out if things get a little, oh man, I got to travel tonight. My girl really wants to, take me out or whatever. And we're like, hey, step up. Let's get focused. Try this instead. Eat like this, or here, where are you going? Let me look at the menu. Try this instead, or eat like that. I want you to hit this type of workout. And your people that like maybe they messed up a little bit, we can get in there and help them fix it. So the Facebook group is awesome for the first 50 of you guys who join up right now at thedolcediet.com, promo code FU30 to save 30%. Get in on it. Get in on it right now. Don't miss out. If you are thinking about maybe doing it, today is the day to start. Right? Today is the day to start. Literally, this is like setting the GPS to your weight loss. No more wondering what I should eat. No more worrying about if you're training correctly. We take care of all of that for you, and we're giving you 30% to do it. TheDolceDiet.com, promo code FU30. Get started. Brian, what's good, Coach? Missing these live chats. Just want to say thanks for the life change. I was keto and made the switch to the Dolce diet. You coming to SoCal anytime soon? I actually am coming to SoCal soon. I'll be in SoCal somewhere in the next 6 weeks or so. We're lining up some dates right now. I'm excited. I'm going to go see some friends out there, do some business, going to jump on some of the podcasts out there and just have a really good time. So I'm pumped up for that. So Brian, thank you. Guys and gals, everyone here, thank you all for being here. I appreciated the conversation, getting to talk about Cowboy Cerrone versus Conor McGregor, January 18th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. UFC 246, I believe, in this fight will be held at 170 pounds, which is cool. And I appreciate you guys just for being a part of this channel and for helping this channel to grow and staying engaged and answering or asking such amazing questions and leaving those great comments in the comment section. Whatever interaction and engagement you guys have, I appreciate it completely. I am here for you. I am here to answer your questions, to provide best practices of your health, of your fitness, but also of your finances and your lifestyle. For those of you who care about that, I am here to help you in any way and every way I can, to be completely open and honest and transparent. That's why I love these live feeds. I love just turning on the microphone and turning on the camera and answering your questions as they come through. And I think you guys can see how honest and open and transparent I am in the information that I provide for you. But I hope you guys really do see it, how passionate I am to help you and work with you. And honored I am to be here, because the fact that you guys come on here, that you make the choice to pay attention to what we're talking about, you find some sort of value in the information that we're giving you, totally honored and humbled by that. And I will absolutely do my best every single day to keep earning your trust and keep earning your respect and provide you with the most actionable, honest, evidence-based information to dramatically improve your life in all aspects. So I gratefully thank you. And until next time, boom.